for today's video, I was going to be talking about spirits and dreams, and if your loved ones can visit you through dreams. Throughout some research, which nothing in the paranormal is proven, but just through some research, it's thought that the reason that your family members or loved ones or whoever can visit you through dreams is because your mind's in such a subconscious state, and you're kind of more relaxed and open to things such as the spirit world. So that's why they think that some spirits come to you through your dreams. Now, the difference between actually dreaming about this person or having an actual visitation through your dreams is the reality of it, like how real it feels to you as this happens. I know my biggest example involves my dad, which I think that I've had one main visitation dream from him, but all the other ones, like, I dream about him all the time, and most of those are just dreams. But the actual visitation dreams where someone actually comes through to communicate with you, they feel so real, like you would have to stop and think if it really happened or not. I know that's something that happened with me. Like I said, I've dreamed about my dad since the day he passed away, and sometimes it triggers nightmares after everything that we went through with his passing and beforehand, but there's some good dreams in there, and there's a lot of nightmares. But there was this one day that I really truly believe it was a visitation dream, because I woke up and I had to stop and think, like, okay, my dad was here. What's going on? You know, I just thought that it really happened. I remembered everything so vividly. It was just so realistic that it was hard for me to fathom that that was just a dream. But I hate to talk about this, but I wanted to tell you guys that I lost my dad in a very tragic way, which is what triggers my nightmares. But my dad passed away after a failed suicide attempt. He suffered a gunshot wound to the head, but he survived, and he lived for 1 week after his incident. And that's something that reflects onto this visitation dream, because the dream where I think he actually visited me happened not long after he had passed. It was when me and my family were discussing some things that went on. But like I said, my dad was in the hospital because he had shot himself, and during surgery they couldn't remove the bullet from his head, so they had to leave it in there. But as far as the circumstances go, he was in a really good condition for the circumstances. He had his full memory, he could communicate fully. The only physical thing that you could see that was wrong with him was he had left side paralysis because the gunshot occurred to the right side of the brain. But that was even improving. He was moved from one hospital to another, from just the regular hospital where he had his surgery to a psychiatric ward within 4 days, which I thought was completely too soon. That's just my opinion. But anyway, after he was moved to the psychiatric ward, he had a sitter. And a sitter's sole purpose is to sit and watch that person to make sure nothing happens. But somehow during his first couple of days at the psychiatric ward, he managed to move himself to the edge of the bed, and he tried to get up on his own, but he couldn't because of his paralysis, and he fell and hit his head, which I seem to think is extremely dangerous considering that the bullet was still there and it was still such a fresh wound. But the hospital didn't really do anything about this. The only way I found out was because the day that I got to visit my dad, which was the day before he passed away, he had some blood on his left ear, just right at the top here, and I asked him what had happened, and he told me he had fallen out of bed. So I'll never understand how that happened when he had a sitter 24/7, and why they didn't really take any precautions or even contact us. It's just, I'm sickened about this hospital. I'm sickened by the whole situation, but my dad passed away the day after the fall, and that's what relates back to this dream, and I really hope I didn't upset anybody. Sorry. But the reason that I think this was a visitation dream, instead of just dreaming something about my dad, I wasn't in like a regular home. I was in a hospital, which it wasn't the hospital he was in this dream, and my dad was telling me, he said, something just doesn't add up. Something just doesn't add up. Every time I would pass him in this hallway, he kept telling me that something didn't add up. And I started thinking about it, and me and my family have thought about it, and things don't add up. He's right. I believe that the hospital neglected him and may have caused his death sooner than it at least should have been, because he was scheduled to come home in just a couple of days. So I do think the hospital failed us, and I do think that my dad visited me in that dream to tell me that something wasn't right, because that's when we went and obtained his medical records, which I'm not even going to get into all the things that we found, because it is just disturbing and appalling, and I don't know. I'm just not going to get into that, but I did get to speak with a medium, which I'm going to do my whole medium experience on another video. But during that medium experience, my dad came through, and I know he validated by a million different things. But at the end, he told me, which she would have never known. She had never met me in my entire life. That was our first time we ever met, and the only thing we knew about each other was each other's first name. But she told me how he told me that he died in the hands of his medical care, which she would have not known that I even had that thought. But anyway, that's why I think my dad actually visited me in that dream, because he was telling me something, and it was so real. I had to wake up, and I was like looking around for him. It was just, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just like he was actually there. And he was very right. Things just didn't add up, and I don't guess they ever will, because we've tried to get answers and nobody has them for us. So we just got to keep going. I hope I didn't upset anybody with the story, but I just wanted to know if any of you guys had ever had any dreams that you feel are visitation dreams. Like I said, they're just so much more vivid, and you second guess yourself. Was that real? Was it not? But that's just my view on dreams and spirits visiting in dreams, and my little experience where I think my dad was actually trying to relay a message, because it's now loud and clear, and it came to me through, he said the same thing basically through the medium. So that's basically my story, and I hope you guys liked this story. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not already. I'll be posting a new video every Wednesday and Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.